Here are the 8 white cards you should consider buying. Starting with Alms Collector. This used to be a $20 card, but let's read it anyways. For 3 and a white, we get a 3/4 Cat Cleric that has Flash. If an opponent would draw 2 or more cards, instead you and that player each draw a card. What's even crazier is this used to be a $2 card, and then a lot of people saw value in this. So if it's worth it to you to pick it up at around a 50% discount from the typical 20 it was, now would be a great time to pick it up. I could still see this getting lower to hopefully around $5. Lashio Clockwork Scholar. For 2 and a white, it's a 2/4 Elephant Artificer. It says prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to attacking artifact creatures you control. Whenever 1 or more artifact creatures enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability only triggers once each turn. Don't let that last part fool you. While this only happens once each turn, worst case scenario, it can happen only once on your turn, in addition to what card you're drawing that turn. But if we have multiple effects of this, we're drawing 3 or 4 cards, plus the one we're drawing our turn, so if you have artifact creatures in your deck, definitely consider this one. Master of Ceremonies. For 3 and a white, we get a 3/4 Rhino Druid. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent chooses money, friends, or secrets. For each player who chooses money, you and that player get a treasure token. Each player who chooses friends, you and that player get a 1/1 green-white citizen creature token. For each player who chose secrets, you and that player draw a card. This is around a $3 card right now. I do wish it was lower, but any card that can involve white card draw typically is going to cost a little bit more. So if all of your opponents, assuming there are 3 of them, chose secrets, they each get to draw 1 card and you get to draw 3, which that would be the best case scenario in my opinion, or if they want the mana, you're getting that as well. Next we're talking about Saram Senior Edificer. For 1 and a white, it's a 2/2 Dwarf Advisor. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, you're drawing a card. This is typically the best as a commander, but if you're playing all 3 of these, aura, equipment, and vehicle, definitely put this in your deck if you're playing white. Next is Welcoming Vampire. Love this card, super underrated. For 2 and a white, it's a 2/3 vampire with flying. Whenever 1 or more creatures with power 2 or less enter the battlefield under your control, you get to draw a card. This triggers only once each turn. Super powerful card. Again, a lot of people do not like it because it has that last sentence, it only triggers once each turn. But what's great is that it can trigger your turn, the second opponent, the third opponent, and the final opponent. And we can typically draw 4 cards if we have something that can generate a token each turn, it's able to untap, etc. Definitely don't sleep on Welcoming Vampire. As for the enchantments, let's talk about Smothering Tithe. And you're probably thinking, why are you mentioning this $40 card? Well, here's the kicker. This is a $22 card right now, seeing a 50% price decrease. So if you've been wanting this card, it'd be a great time to pick it up. For those who don't know, for 3 and a white, it's an enchantment that says whenever an opponent would draw a card, that player may pay 2, and if they don't, we get a treasure token. Smuggler's Share. For 2 and a white, this is an enchantment that says at the beginning of each end step, draw a card for each opponent who drew 2 or more cards this turn. Then create a treasure token for each opponent who had 2 or more lands enter the battlefield under their control this turn. This saw a price decrease of around 50%. This was a $15 card for a while. Now it's going for around 7. But now we're seeing a lot of creators sharing on Twitter saying that this card isn't really that good. It's a lot better in group hug decks. So if you do have a group hug deck and you're looking for a little bit of a spicier card, it is a little bit out of budget in my opinion, but for $7 and seeing that 50% price decrease, this could be an option for you. Takasa's Welcome. I absolutely love this card and it's super undervalued right now. For 2 and a white, it's an enchantment that says whenever 1 or more creatures with mana value 3 or less enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card, and this only triggers once each turn. What's great is that this counts for token and non-token as long as it's mana value 3 or less. Again, it only triggers once each turn, but again, the greatest thing we can see from this is a card from each player's turn in 1 turn cycle, which would be 4 cards. But if we have this, plus Lashio and Welcoming Vampire, for example, if we're able to trigger all of these, that's 3 cards on our turn at least, plus our card for turn. If you'd like any of these cards, you can use the link down below to help support the channel at no additional cost to you. Thank you to the members who help support the show. You can also become a member for 99 cents each month, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.